What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to TTP Sports. Take two of this Flyers recap. My mic is actually on. You can hear my voice. I can see the mic meter going off. So, hey, let's do this once again. The Flyers somehow win in a shootout over the New York Rangers by a score of 4-3. I have no idea how it happened, but somehow the Flyers did win in a shootout and somehow, survived blowing a 3-goal lead. I was not expecting that whatsoever. So, yeah. I wasn't expecting that at all. But hey, the Flyers found a way to get a victory. Some of their young guys stood out. Owen Tippett gets a goal. Cam York gets a goal. Morgan Frost had a beautiful move in the shootout. Not the shootout, the overtime. And yeah, just the Flyers got a win. That's basically all you could describe it as. I was very surprised it was going to be in the shootout regardless, but still finding a way to get a win over the Rangers team. There's some thoughts that I do have on this Rangers team as I've watched them throughout the course of the season, but I'll get into that in a little bit, but the Flyers found a way to get a win. I'm very surprised that it came in the shootout. They were winning 3-0, actually. Of course, they blew the 3-goal lead just in, Flyers fashion. But yeah, very surprised that they got this win, though. Very surprised. I was not expecting a shootout win against the New York Rangers, especially after playing last night, too. So yeah, the Flyers get their win. And before we get into all of this, welcome back to TTP Sports, everyone. If you are new to the channel, looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news recaps and events, this is the place to be at, depending on the outcome. So I recommend you hitting that subscribe button and also that like button. Also, if you're a current viewer of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. And if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So that's playoff tickets for the Sixers. You got opening day tickets for the Phillies coming up. And then you also got tickets for the Flyers if you want to put yourself through that. And then when football season comes back for the Eagles, can't pass up $20 in your pocket. Use that for concessions, use that for parking, whatever you can think of. So use the code TTP Sports down below today for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So the Flyers win against New York Rangers in a shootout by a score of 4-3. Wasn't expecting that whatsoever. And the Flyers surprisingly went up 2-0 in this game, 3-0 in this game, actually. I'm like, basically, this entire thing is just like mind-boggling. It feels like there's a blue moon out there. I wasn't expecting the Flyers to put up this type of performance, even though, like, I would say majority of the time they did get dominated. The Rangers, were the better team on the ice. But I was very surprised that the Flyers even went up 3-0. Even though this game was, I wouldn't say it was pure domination by the Rangers standpoint. It was very sloppy, back and forth. There were so many sections in this game where the Rangers had their share of turnovers, the Flyers had their share of turnovers. Owen Tippett got like 50 breakaways in this game. Sadly, he wasn't able to score on any of them, but seriously, there were odd man rushes throughout the rest of the game. It was crazy. So you go into the first period, the Flyers get on the board early. Face-off win, back to Cam York. He claps it by Shesterkin. A little bit of a knuckle puck. Confuses him a little bit, and the Flyers go up 1-0. Not that long after, Kevin Hayes with a nice feed over to Owen Tippett. He comes into the zone. He tries to take the initial shot, or it looks like a pass at the same time. It gets blocked, and then it goes right back to the stick of Tippett. He puts it by Shesterkin, snipes it by him, and it becomes a 2-0 Flyers lead there. They do get a power play. They do get power plays throughout this game. The Rangers also get a couple of power plays throughout this game too. None of the teams score on the power plays throughout this game, and actually in the second period too, it was back and forth. I feel like the Rangers were the better team. Like basically throughout that second period, they started to wake up more as the game went along. But like I said, it was that sloppy play back and forth. Both teams were turning the puck over, especially in the neutral zone. You saw a lot of odd-man rushes. You saw a lot of breakaways for Owen Tippett, and it was just a weird game. A very, very weird game entirely. And the Rangers, coming off their previous game, they got shut out by the New York Islanders. And Gerard Gallant said that they played like dog shit. So I wonder what his reaction after this game is, especially going down 3-0 to the Flyers. But still, the Flyers go up 2-0 in the first intermission. Nothing happens in the second, basically more back and forth. But then you go into the third period, and the Flyers make it 3-0, surprisingly. Get a little bit of a pass going up. Got Travis Sanheim going up a little bit. Looks like turns into a 2-0 at this standpoint. And he passes it over to Joel Farabee, who pots it by Shesterkin, making it 3-0. I'm just like very surprised at that standpoint. I'm just like, what? 3-0 against the Rangers. The Flyers actually put a goal up in the third period to try to hold a lead. But then, typical Flyers fashion, they do eventually blow this 3-goal lead. Not that long after, they make it 3-0. It's Artemi Panarin off of a deflection, basically from a shot from Jacob Trouba, making it 3-1. And then eventually the Rangers get their share of power plays throughout this period. They don't score on them. But then when you get into the final 5 minutes, you get a turnover from Rasmus Ristolainen in the neutral zone as he's trying to play the puck with his hand. He knocks it down. The puck goes the other way as the Rangers push. And then Mika Zibanejad, off of a shot, he puts in the rebound past Martin Jones, makes it a 3-2 Flyers lead. And then not that long after, literally 12 seconds, Artemi Panarin with a nice feed over to Andrew Kopp, who's rushing in past the Flyers defense, and all he has to do is tap it by Martin Jones to tie the game up at 3. And for Martin Jones, I felt like he played a really good game. I don't blame him for any of these goals that the Rangers scored. It was basically just like so many breakdowns and so many sequences for the Flyers, especially in the third period too. For the Flyers standpoint, there were so many breakdowns in their zone. They couldn't break the puck out. They couldn't clear the zone. So basically, in typical Flyers fashion, they were just breaking down all over the ice today. Basically, the course of the season that the Flyers have been through. So you go into overtime. The Rangers do get a late power play in this period. They don't score in it, surprisingly. So they go 0 for 3 on the power play in this game. Then you go to the overtime. Flyers possess it for a little bit. The Rangers possess it for a little bit. The Flyers get a late power play. They don't score on it 4-on-3. Surprise, surprise. But Morgan Frost in this overtime, especially when you have the line out there of Morgan Frost, Owen Tippett, and Cam York out there in the 3-on-3. Morgan Frost had this beautiful dangle that he could have scored on, but Shesterkin's going to stop those type of plays basically 9 out of 10 times. He stopped Owen Tippett so many times on the breakaways throughout this game. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting Frost to score on it, but it was a beautiful move. Beautiful, beautiful move by Morgan Frost in the overtime. But the Flyers don't score on their late power play in the period, and they go to a shootout, which I was not expecting them to win. I was expecting them to lose because every shootout the Flyers have been to this year, they have not scored. I feel like it was like, 0 for 19, 0 for 18 or something like that. So, yeah, they haven't scored at all this year in the shootout. So, Cam Atkinson, first shooter, goes glove side, stopped by Shesterkin. Mika Zibanejad, stopped by Martin Jones. Owen Tippett, glove saved by Shesterkin. In comes Artemi Panarin. Doesn't even get a shot on net. He flubs on the puck. And in comes Kevin Hayes. Decides, I'm not going to go glove side. Fuck it. I'm going to go blocker side. Top shelf past Shesterkin. First Flyers shootout goal this year. And they go 1-0 in the shootout. In comes Philip Sheetal. And a great save by Martin Jones with his foot and his skate to keep the puck out. And they get a win for the Flyers in the shootout against the New York Rangers. Wow. Wasn't surprised. Well, I want to say I wasn't surprised. I am surprised. I'm shocked. Mind boggled about it. I just don't understand how they won this game. I just don't. I really don't. I really do not understand how the Flyers won this game against the Rangers. I really don't. Just looking at some of the instances throughout this game, the shots on goal. First period, the Rangers outshoot the Flyers 13-8. Second period, they outshoot the Flyers 19-8. In the third period, they outshoot them 10-6. Overtime, both teams had 4 shots. Rangers outshot the Flyers in this game 46-26. So, yeah, that shows you how much, the Rangers chipped in offensively. 3 stars in this game. Martin Jones, first star. Artemi Panarin, second star. And Owen Tippett, third star for the Flyers. And just talking about the Rangers for a little bit. The one thing from watching Rangers games this season, and just like Flyers fans have no say in this because they are a terrible team this year. They're a terrible team. They suck. Ha 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 ha. All that bullshit. But watching the Rangers this year, they're a good team. Yes, I'm not denying they're a good team. They have one major flaw. They're not good 5-on-5 defensively. And I feel like that is a little bit underlooked because of how great Igor Shesterkin has been this year. Igor Shesterkin has been flat out fantastic for the Rangers. Fantastic. If I'm looking at his stats this year, because they're just unbelievable this year, insanely unbelievable. If I look at, he's 32, 10, and 3. He's got a 2.13 goals against, a 934 save percentage. He's been unreal. He's going to be a Hart finalist. He's probably going to win the Vezina this year as well. He's been unreal. The Rangers are not in the position that they are without Igor Shesterkin. They're probably still a playoff team. They're not this good without Shesterkin. They're not this good. And he really, holds back their, he really, shields their woes 5-on-5. And I wonder how that's going to go in the playoffs for them, especially when they play a lot of better teams. So I wonder how that's going to go because you don't know what the matchups are going to get. Are they going to be playing Pittsburgh in the first round, Carolina? Are they going to be playing anyone else from the Atlantic Division? You got to see how it works. But goaltending does win in the playoffs. And if you have a hot goalie going into the playoffs, and if Shesterkin can get hot, the Rangers can win. I'm not saying the Rangers can't win, but I think 5-on-5 defensively, that's their major flaw. They're scoring. They're one of the best scoring teams in the league. Their special teams are elite. Their goaltending is elite. The one thing that's just holding them back is their 5-on-5 defense. That's basically it. So yeah, Flyers somehow won. Don't know how they won. And looking at the standings after this game, the Flyers, looking at the Metropolitan Division, they are now 7th place in the Metro, 55 points at 22, 36, and 11. They're a point ahead of the New Jersey Devils, who have 54 points. And looking at the entire league, the Flyers are now the 5th worst team in the National Hockey League. Teams that are below them, the Devils, the Coyotes, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Seattle Kraken. So yeah, the Flyers, like it's gonna be a back and forth flip basically throughout these bottom of the standings for the rest of the season. So I know people are saying, "Oh, I want the Flyers to lose so that I want the Flyers to perfectly tank." I just don't understand. Like I want the Flyers to purposely tank. Like I don't think you have a worry about the Flyers tanking because they're just bad enough to where they just lose games when they even compete. So we'll throw that out of the trash. Like I don't know why people want them to tank. They're a bad team. They're going to lose games. Like yeah, they're like a bad teams win games. That's just the way that's the way the NHL rolls. I don't even know, man. I don't know. That's just the way the NHL goes. Like bad teams will beat a good team on a daily basis. That's just how the NHL works, and it does. So sometimes you just have those games. The Flyers can win this game and then lose the next 3 or 4. That's just how the season is. That's how the NHL season works. That's how bad this team is. But even bad teams, they win games. They win games against good opponents. So they're going to be those inevitable wins. There are. I'm happy that the Flyers are showing effort in these games. But even still, when they show their effort, they're still showcasing they're a bad team. They're still a bad team, even though they show effort and they're still competing. So does that show that they're still missing a few pieces? Are they close to, all that stuff? Yeah. And then EGW says it right here, tanking is not creating a winning culture for the young guys. They deserve to win games to help for the future. Yeah. If you're just going out there and purposely losing, you're not making a good culture out there. So, yeah. And Wade says they didn't win. They just found a more embarrassing way to actually lose. I wouldn't say it's embarrassing. I mean, just granted, that's the Flyers. Like when you're going, like if you're talking about yesterday, yeah, you're tied with the Maple Leafs. But even though as much as you're competing in the game, the Maple Leafs have 10 times the talent the Flyers have. That was eventually going to break out at some point. It was. No matter how much the Flyers show effort, no matter how much the Flyers compete, at the end of the day, they're just a bad team. You can show all the effort you want. You can compete all you want. But if you're just completely outclassed by the other team, you're not going to win most nights. You'll probably win at least 1 out of 10 times, most likely. The same thing goes for tonight. It was just that 1 out of 10 times you found a way to win. Yeah, it was a shootout. You still blew the 3-0 lead. You still found a way to win. But like I said, that's just the way the NHL rolls. That's just how it works. Hockey gods favor you at some points. Hockey gods don't favor you at most points. And that's the way the Flyers have been this entire season. They're a bad team. Even when they show effort, they've been showing a lot of effort a lot lately. And I like seeing that. I like seeing what Owen Tippett's doing. I like to see what Morgan Frost's doing. I like what Cam York's doing. And yeah, I know Ronnie Attardi, I think he's being a little thrown to the wolves a little bit. Had himself a rough game. Maybe shouldn't be on the power play. But I'm not going to bash the kid. It's like it's his first pro experience coming right out of college. He's not going to be this elite player. He'd be maybe a good piece for the future, but not going to really bash the kid. If I'm seeing these games and I'm seeing these young guys compete and I'm seeing them improve night in and night out, I'm fine with that. I don't care how many games they lose, as long as I see that compete level, as long as I see that they're not giving up. I'm fine with that. Create a good culture, and that's basically what this basically is right here. What AGW said, just create that good culture. Tanking does not create a good culture. Look at teams like the Buffalo Sabres. Like, look at that. Even though the Devils, they're building something right now. They have a lot of good young pieces. They've been losing forever. Look at the Arizona Coyotes. The Flyers are not going to be at that standpoint. As long as the Flyers build a good culture and they actually, get some stuff right over the next couple of seasons, they'll be a better team. They definitely will. Do I have hope in this front office? I don't think this front office is going to be here that long. But still, I feel like they won't be as bad for long as some people are saying. Even though I do have my doubts. I definitely do, as some other people. But I'm not going to be, this, negative Nancy constantly. Like, yeah, I do get into my frustrations, but at the end of the day, you got to look at it realistically. Gotta look at reality with this team. But yeah. Still, Flyers got their win. They beat the Rangers. And I did a video without my mic on yet. Without my mic muted. Yeah, that was just a weird, a little fluke with, live streaming and all that stuff. It probably won't happen again. I'll always make sure that my mic is unmuted and all that crap. It was just a one-time event. So yeah, even though some people probably didn't even see that one, still, I'd like to mention it just to know, I made that mistake. But still, what are your thoughts on this game, everyone? What are your thoughts on this just basically every year your stretch going down the rest of the season? So don't forget to leave those thoughts in the comment section below. Actually, one more comment right here from White Smith. This team cannot hold a lead with 20 minutes to go ever. The entire coaching staff should be fired immediately. They should have not been allowed to enter the locker room after that third period debacle. Okay, if you're looking at the game and just entirely negatively, go ahead. Not going to hold you off from your opinion. Just trying to, brighten the mood a little bit. Because at the end of the day, Flyers are still a bad team. These type of leads you should be expected to be blown, no matter the effort they give. So, like I said, don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to check out the panel lines, which I'm a part of. The links are down in the description below. Don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Flyer.pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Do not forget to check those out. And also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. And also hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you next time.